Alright, everybody, so we are back with TEW9, the War of Immortals save here with the WWF Classics. We are running today's show of the WWFC Superstars. So let's take a rundown of last week's episode, then I will get into booking this week's. So in our pre-show match, we had Chris Adams, the Bushwhackers, and the Nasty Boys defeat Powers of Pain, Dino Bravo, Paul Roma, and IRS. The opening segment was Jesse and Vince McMahon running down our card for the night. We had Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeat Butch Reed for the TV title. We had Slicked Bossman talk about how Bossman wants the TV championship. Then Bossman defeated Barry Horowitz. Ted DiBiase telling Lex Luger, hey, I found somebody that wants to face you tonight, so you're going to face them. Then we had Larry Zbyszko, Rick Rude, and Honky Tonk Man defeat Nick Bockwinkel and the All Japan team of Kenta Kobayashi and Giant Baba. We had Jim Ross talk about how Dr. Death came to the WWFC and he's looking for a fight, and he thinks that he found one. Then we had Lex Luger defeat Dick Murdoch. We had Sergeant Slaughter talk about how he wants to end this feud with Paul Orndorff, and he's going to at SummerSlam. Ted DiBiase defeated Superfly Jimmy Snuka. We had Mr. Perfect say that, hey, you know what? I want that world title, Jake, and that world title is going to be coming to me soon. And then we had the Fabulous Rougeaus defeat the Natural Disasters to retain the tag team titles. The Macho King Randy Savage cut a promo telling Jake, hold on to that title for as long as you can, because right now I'm going to focus on facing the Warrior, and then I'm coming back for my title. We had Sergeant Slaughter and Steve Williams team up and take on Ken Shamrock and Paul Orndorff. We had Jake talk about Mr. Perfect and how he's barking up the wrong tree about wanting the WWFC World Title. Then we had Mr. Perfect defeat the Ultimate Warrior in the main event. So, I will be right back when I am done booking this week's episode 1. Alright, everybody, so we are back with the show booked. Let's hop into it with our first pre-show match. In a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, the Bushwhackers defeated Dino Bravo and the Honky Tonk Man. And 10:06 when Bushwhacker Butch pinned Dino Bravo with the battering ram. The crowd heat is expected and simmering. The wrestling rating was a 59, the crowd is a 47, and the segment got us a 65. Luke had a 62, Butch had a 59, the Honky Tonk Man had a 64, and Dino had a 51. Butch and Luke showed excellent chemistry teaming together. The commentary quality lifted it, the color commentary gave it a boost, and Jimmy Hart did good work at ringside. So, let's head to our next pre-show match here. In a decent pre-show match, King Kong Bundy defeated Chris Adams in 9:34 by pinfall with a big splash. The crowd heat is expected and simmering. The wrestling rating is a 57. The crowd rating is a 50. The segment got us a 63. Chris Adams had a 63. King Kong Bundy had a 52. The commentary quality lifted it, and the color commentary gave the match a boost. So, let's head in to Vince and Jesse running down our card tonight. Welcome, everybody, to another electric night of WWFC action. I'm Vince McMahon, alongside the Body, Jesse Ventura. And Jesse, what a night we have in store. That's right, McMahon. You better believe it. Tonight's main event is going to be absolutely huge. We got the Macho King Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect, and Ravishing Rick Rude teaming up to take on Jake the Snake, Giant Baba, and the Ultimate Warrior. What a battle that's going to be. Plus the Legion of Doom are in action. And Jesse, they're facing a mystery team tonight. No one knows who it is. You can bet on the LOD better be ready. McMahon, surprises in this business don't usually come gift wrapped. And let's not forget kicking off night Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man, will go one-on-one with the high-flying Koko Beware. Hold on to your seats, folks. It's going to be a night full of shocks, slams, and unforgettable moments right here on WWFC Superstars. Get ready, McMahon. The action starts right now. So the crowd is hot and rising. We got an 89 from this. All of our storylines advanced and gained heat. Jesse improvised well. The angle got the crowd hotter, and it got the show off to a strong start. So let's head into Ken Shamrock versus Koko. In a decent match, Ken Shamrock defeated Koko Beware in 5:38 by submission. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating is a 58. The crowd rating was a 56. The segment got us a 69. Ken Shamrock had a 68. Koko had a 48. It advanced the Ken Shamrock Steve Williams storyline, but it lost heat for it. Jesse and Vince had pretty good chemistry when calling matches. The commentary quality lifted it, and the color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head off to our next segment. Road Warriors. Oh, Road Warriors, you big muscle-bound brutes keep crying about wanting a title match. Well, guess what? It's not that easy. That's right, Jacques. You see, we're fabulous. And if you want a shot at the fabulous Rougeaus and these beautiful WWFC tag team titles, you're going to have to prove you're worthy. So tonight, Road Warriors, we have a little challenge for you. Complete it if you can, and maybe, just maybe, we'll consider giving you your precious title match. But be warned, it's not just about brute strength. You need brains, class, and finesse. All things you two are clearly lacking. Good luck, tough guys. You're going to need it. So the crowd heat is white hot. The segment got us a 75. It advanced the Rougeau's Road Warrior storyline. Jacques and Raymond both have pretty good chemistry with Jimmy Hart. Jacques clearly enjoyed the freedom of having to go off script. The commentary quality lifted the segment. And the angle got the crowd hotter as well. So let's head up to our next match. In a decent wild brawl, Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated Akeem in 9:52 by pinfall with the running clothesline tackle. Hacksaw makes defense number 2 of his WWFC television title. So the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got us a 72. The crowd rating got us a 60. The segment got us an 82. Akeem had a 54. Hacksaw had a 90. It advanced the Hacksaw Big Boss Man storyline. There were times when the match lacked psychology and had a tendency to drift a little. The commentary quality lifted the match. Slick did good work at ringside, and Akeem and Slick have pretty good chemistry. So that's pretty good. So that's not a half bad match for Hacksaw to throw in there. Along the way with his feud with the Boss Man. So let's head to our next segment. Oh, that was horrible. Oh, there we go. Nick Bockwinkel. 15 days. July 20th. Saturday night's main event. It's all coming to a head. You and me. Balls count anywhere. No more running. No more hiding behind your reputation. No more clinging to the past. You see, Nick, for years, you were the so-called measuring stick, the standard. But times have changed. I'm the man now, and at Saturday night's main event, I'm going to prove it when I end you once and for all. Falls count anywhere, Nick. That means no safe spaces, no rules, no excuses, whether it's in the ring, in the aisle, or out in the streets of Detroit. I'm going to pin you to the ground and leave you looking up at the lights, wondering what went wrong. The final chapter of Nick Bockwinkel gets written on July 20th, and I, the author. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 75. It advanced the Nick Bockwinkel Larry Zbyszko storyline, and the angle idea that I used was a success as well. So that's fantastic. So let's head to Larry Zbyszko's match with Jimmy Superfly Snuka. In a good match, Larry Zbyszko defeated Jimmy Snuka in 15-15 by submission with the Larryland Dreamer. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got us a 73. The crowd rating got us a 73. The segment got us an 80. Superfly had a 65. Larry Zbyszko had an 80. It advanced the Nick Bockwinkel Larry Zbyszko storyline, and Vince and Jesse have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together. So let's head to the next segment. And that was really bad. So it was just Nick Bockwinkel attacking Larry Zbyszko, and Nick Bockwinkel is getting better at his gimmick. It also lost his heat in the Nick Bockwinkel Larry Zbyszko storyline, and the segment only got us a 69. So let's head to our next segment. Ken Shamrock, you might be the world's most dangerous man in some circles. But here in the WWFC, there's only one man who strikes fear into the hearts of everyone, and that's Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Shamrock, you might know a few holds, you might know a few submissions, but when you step into the ring with me, you're stepping into a world of hurt. You think you're tough, you think you're gonna stand toe-to-toe with Dr. Death. You're gonna find out real quick. This ain't a fight you're gonna walk away from. Ken Shamrock, you're tough, but you're swimming in deep water now, and Steve Williams is the shark, waiting to drag you under. At Saturday night's main event, Shamrock, you're looking at your doctor, and the only thing I'm going to prescribe is pain. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us an 80. It advanced the Ken Shamrock Steve Williams storyline. Jim Ross clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. And he is getting better at his gimmick too, so that's not too bad. So let's head to Steve Williams' match. In a decent wild brawl, Ray Stevens defeated Steve Williams in 9:46 by pinfall with a bombs away. During the match, we also had Ken Shamrock run out and attack Dr. Death. So the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 68. The crowd is a 62. The segment got a 79. Steve Williams had a 65. Ray Stevens had a 71. Ken Shamrock and Steve Williams storyline advanced, and it gained heat. Steve Williams was really off his game, and the commentary quality lifted the match as well. So that's pretty good. So let's head off to the next segment. Ho! Big boss man, you've been running your mouth, tough guy. You say you want a shot at old Hacksaw's World Television title. Well, let me tell you something, tough guy. I'll face anyone, anytime, in any place. You think you can intimidate Hacksaw Jim Duggan? It ain't happening, brother. This title right here, was built on fighting spirit, on guts, and on standing tall no matter who steps up. So, boss man, you want to come and get it? Bring it on. I'll be standing here swinging this 2x floor and flying the American flag, tough guy. Ho! So, the crowd heat at the end is very hot. The segment got an impressive 87, and it advanced the Duggan Bossman storyline as well. So, let's head to the next match. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, the Road Warriors defeated Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro in 12:29 when Road Warrior Animal pinned Joey Mercury with the Doomsday device. Joey Mercury was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got us a 75. The crowd rating got a 58. The segment got an 88. Hawk had an 82. Animal had an 89. Johnny Nitro had a 78. And Joey Mercury had a 49. It advanced the Rougeau Road Warrior storyline. Hawk and Animal showed excellent chemistry teaming together. They got a tag team specialist bonus, as well as M&M got a great chemistry working together, and they got a tag team specialist bonus, and Road Warrior Animal and Paul Ellering have great chemistry. So that is a much better match than I ever thought they were going to have. So that is fantastic. So let's head to our next segment. Lex Luger. Looks like the clock is ticking, pal, but because tonight you're walking into something you can't buy your way out of. You see, I went and found myself a little insurance policy. A man just as tough, just as mean, and just as dangerous as they come. Dirty Dick Murdoch. That's right, Lex. Tonight, it's not just me you have to worry about. It's both of us. Now, I hope you got a few friends left back there, Luger. Because you're going to need one to even think about surviving tonight's tag match. You better find yourself a partner. And you better pray he's ready for a fight. Because Ted DiBiase and Dick Murdoch don't plan on just beating you. We plan on humiliating you. So, the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got an 82. It advanced the Lex Luger Ted DiBiase storyline. The performance of Ted DiBiase was good, and Ted DiBiase clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well. So let's head to the next segment. In a good match, Ted DiBiase and Dick Murdoch defeated Lex Luger and Kenta Kobayashi in 14:05 when Dick Murdoch pinned Lex Luger with his Texas Brainbuster. So the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 76, the crowd rating got a 75, and the segment rating got an 81. Kenta had a 73, Lex Luger had a 81, Dick Murdoch had a 69, Ted DiBiase had an 81. It advanced the Luger DiBiase storyline, and Ted DiBiase benefited from having a hot new move. So let's check the dirt sheet. I just want to see what was bad. Penalized for holding back all of them, and the storyline has low heat. I thought it would. So let's head to our next segment. Oh boy. Oh yeah, Ultimate Warrior. You got all the muscles. You got all the energy, but what you don't got is the madness. Oh yeah. You've been chasing that WWFC World Heavyweight Championship like a dog chasing its tail. But dig it, as long as the Macho King Randy Savage is breathing in the WWFC, you will never wear gold. Yeah. You can run wild, you can shake the ropes, and you can talk about your power. But the Macho King has been to the top of the mountain, and I ain't going nowhere. Warrior, listen real close. The cream always rises to the top, and you're gonna sink to the bottom. Dig it! So the crowd heat is very hot. For some reason, the segment did horrible. It got a 75 when Savage can do better promos. It was because it was short. That's why. Okay. So we're going to have to give him like 5 minutes to get better promos. So it advanced the Warrior Savage storyline. So let's head to the next match. In a decent match, Sergeant Slaughter and the Natural Disasters defeated Paul Orndorff and Power and Glory in 11:37 when Earthquake pinned Paul Roma with the Earthquake Splash. In terms of ring work, Sergeant Slaughter was head and shoulders above everybody else. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 63. The crowd rating got a 58. The segment got us a 77. Typhoon had a 64, Sergeant Slaughter had a 77, Earthquake had a 64, Paul Roma had a 54, Hercules had a 52, Paul Orndorff had a 67. It advanced the Slaughter Orndorff storyline, and the commentary quality lifted the match as well. So let's head to the next segment. Jake Roberts, you can slither all you want, but the fact remains last time we stood in the ring, I pinned your shoulders to the mat. So now I'm standing right here, face to face with reality, and reality is this. I want my shot at the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship. No tricks, no hiding behind mind games, just you, me, and the truth that Mr. Perfect is better than perfect. He's a world champion waiting to happen. Jake's music hits, and he brings the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship with him. You want a shot, huh, Mr. Perfect? You think one little pinfall makes you the man around here. Let me tell you something. Nothing in life comes easy. You want to crack at this title, you have to earn it. And you'll get that chance if, and that's a big if you can beat a hand-picked opponent of my choosing next week, survive that, then we'll talk about you stepping into the ring with me. So we are setting up a mystery opponent for Mr. Perfect next week. The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 92. The Roberts Perfect storyline has advanced, and Mr. Perfect benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to our main event. In an exceptional match, Mr. Macho King, Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect, and Rick Rude defeated Giant Baba, Jake the Snake Roberts, and the Ultimate Warrior in 1628 when the Macho King pinned the Ultimate Warrior with a flying elbow drop. The match was designed so that the wrestlers could go all out and try and steal the show, which they did. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 94. The crowd rating is an 86. And the segment got us a 99. Rick Rude had a 94. Mr. Perfect had a 94. The Macho King had a 97. The Ultimate Warrior had a 95. Jake Roberts had a 95. Giant Baba had an 87. Roberts' Perfect storyline advanced and gained heat. The Ultimate Warrior Randy Savage storyline advanced and gained heat. The Macho King creative finish that I tried was a success. Jesse Ventura and Vince McMahon had pretty good chemistry, and the match got the crowd buzzing. So let's finish up the show here. Let's see what we got. We got a 93. That is fantastic. It had increased our popularity of 15 regions, 2 in the US, 1 in Canada, 6 in the Mexican regions. They were all limited, so let's check what we got out. The financial report, we made $755,000. We went up to 85 in the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, Mid-South, and the Tri-State. Didn't gain anything in Canada yet, so we'll slowly get there. So that is everything for this week's episode, and I will catch everybody in the next one.